We're going to go to Sweden now. We're going to speak live with Thomas Olsson. He is one of Julian Assange's lawyers. Mr. Olsson, thanks so much for joining us. Just to start, I'm wondering if you can explain exactly which accusations against Julian Assange have been expired and which remain.
It's about harassment and sexual harassment, and the accusations that remains are about rape.
Okay, and what is Julian Assange's response? What has he said after these developments that some of those charges will be dropped?
Our position has always been that the investigation ought to be shut down far earlier than this, and it's only regrettable that we have to wait for this expiration time to come. We think that the prosecution have denied to make this interview with Assange in London, and therefore the prosecutor are responsible for the situation that have occurred.
And let's talk about this protest from the British government, that statement they released. What's the significance of that?
It's hard to understand because Mr. Assange has offered the prosecutor to come and interview him for several years, and the prosecutor have denied that without giving any reasonable cause for her decision. When the Court of Appeal in Sweden criticized the prosecutor for their passivity, then they started to arrange for an interview, but they were very late with their request to the Ecuador authorities about attending the embassy, and that's why the interviews hasn't been possible to effectuate. So I mean that the criticism should go against the Swedish prosecutor authority, not against Ecuador.
Now, you and the defense team, you have said you're preparing to take Julian Assange's his case to the European Court of Human Rights. Now, what exactly do you hope to accomplish by that?
That part of the legal teamwork is not on my side. I defend Julian Assange against the accusations in the Swedish legal system. I don't participate directly in the work with the European Court, but in an overall meaning, it's unacceptable that you have an ongoing investigation for several years where the prosecutor doesn't do anything to make the investigation to go forward. So it will be a question about the obligations for the prosecutor to conduct, to handle the investigation in the way that people doesn't suffer unnecessarily.
What's next here? How much longer does Julian Assange live in the Ecuadorian embassy in London?
I think that the current situation raises several serious questions about the Swedish prosecutors' conduct during the investigation, and I think that it will highlight the fundamental question about the evidence surrounding the accusations against Julian Assange. So we are very hopeful that the consequences of this situation will be that the investigation will be shut down altogether, even about the accusations about rape that is still remaining. Because if the prosecutor makes an interview with Mr. Assange, they will get his version of the circumstances, and they will accept that there are no evidence for these accusations about rape.
All right, Thomas Olsson, one of Julian Assange's lawyers, joining us on this midday. Mr. Olsson, thanks so much.
Thank you.